The following program is sponsored. The opinions and statements made by the hosts and guests do not necessarily reflect the views of WBOB or its parent company, the Chesapeake Portsmouth Broadcasting Corporation.
WBOB AM 600 The Answer is proud to present Toula's Tips for Caregivers. Help is on the air with Toula Wooten, your source to go for resources and information to help you in this rewarding but sometimes challenging role. To participate in today's show, call 904-222-TALK. That's 904-222-8255. Now here's Toula.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to my show. First of all, let me say I'm so happy to be back here live with you again. Yes, I'm here in the studio live today. There's clapping all around me. Everybody said, "Oh my goodness, where have you been?" I am Toula Wooten. I've been the radio show host of this show since summer of 2009. Can you believe that? Live every Saturday, except for when life happens. And life has been happening to me quite a bit lately. I've been pretty transparent with all of you over the years. You know that I'm the caregiver for both of my parents, and we've had a whole lot going on in both of their lives lately. And then my sweet husband of 3 years had a terrible fall in September, early September, resulting in surgery, came home, unfortunately fell again, went back for another surgery, and so he got added to my caregiver list for just a little while, and thankfully the best news is he's doing great today. He is recovering well, and I'm just really happy about that. So I haven't been able to be live for those events, and we also had a family death, and so it's just been a little bit crazy, but I know that I've been doing shows and pre-recording shows, and so I hope those of you who are my listeners have stayed tuned with me. Again, my goal here every Saturday is to reach out to caregivers, particularly in Northeast Florida, but because of the internet, anywhere and everywhere now, and help those people who are caring for someone they love. It is a labor of love. There's just no other way to put it. You do it because you love the person you're taking care of, and sometimes it comes with some challenges, even when you love that person. So, you know what? Justine, I'm going to announce you, and then I'm going to get to a caller, because we already have a caller. We haven't even gotten started yet.
All right.
So Justine Conley is my guest, everyone, today. She is with AARP. She is the Associate State Director and the Jacksonville Field Coordinator. She is brand new to AARP. She came in about 4 months ago. Is that right?
5 months today.
5 months in, okay. And she has hit the ground running. Let me just tell you. Right?
Yes, I have hit the ground running.
AARP is involved in so many of the good work that we do here in our Jacksonville community, particularly in the field of aging and caregiving. They've done so much. They support the Caregiver Coalition of Northeast Florida. Most of you know I lead that. And they're a proud supporter of Toula's Tips for Caregivers. So thank you, Justine, for all that you do.
You are welcome. It is truly our pleasure. Truly our pleasure.
All right.
And it's good to be here.
I'm so happy you're here, and welcome to Jacksonville, and welcome to just working with us. We're having a great time together.
Yes, we are. And just a word of thanks to Toula. Anytime anything comes up, I'm like, call Toula. Call Toula. And now I'm like, call Dale. And
because I have a colleague now. I'm not a one-woman department anymore. Yay.
I always say, I need a Dale. I need a Dale.
You cannot have
not Dale. A Dale.
You can't have my Dale. All right. We're going to take this first caller. Rick, welcome to Toula's Tips for Caregivers on this beautiful fall morning.
Thank you, Toula. Good morning. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
I have been taking care of my, we call each other husband and wife, but we're not actually married. So I'll say my wife.
Okay.
For a few years now, she's been in dialysis, and she was there 3 times a week. And then she comes home and she's needing a lot of care, and it's getting to the point where I can't even work anymore.
Yeah.
So since I am her caregiver, I'm wondering what kind of training do I need, or what can I do to get this to legally become her caregiver, or what steps do I need to take? Can you help me with that?
Well, you know, you're asking some good questions. You are her caregiver, and there's nothing that you need to do to be her legal caregiver. You're there. If you've got legal questions regarding potential reimbursement or some of the documents that you may want to work with as she, ages and things happen to her, you do need to speak to an elder law attorney about some of those things. And
what kind of attorney was that?
An elder law attorney. How old is your wife?
Okay.
How old is your wife?
Should be 82 next month.
Wow. And she's going to dialysis 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm. She went there for about a year, then she got better, and they took her off for about a year, and she just started back last week.
Well, I used to work in a dialysis clinic many years ago, and I know that is not an easy lifestyle for the patient or for their family members who take care of them. So first of all, my heart goes out to you. I'd like to maybe even talk to you offline and see what kind of services we can offer. But the first thing that comes to mind to support you and give you some help in the home that isn't associated with any costs is calling Aging True. They're our local provider of home and community-based services here in the Jacksonville area, and they are funded by the Older Americans Act, which means they get monies from the federal government to provide some care for frail seniors, particularly those who are caring for another frail senior, and they'll be able to support you and give you some case management. They can probably connect you with some home health, somebody to come in during the week and help you take care of her. I know that she goes 3 times a week, and I know that sometimes the days that she doesn't go, she doesn't feel well and may need some care. So if you have something to write with, I'll be happy to give you their phone number.
I'm just looking for a place to pull over. I'm sorry I called you while I was driving to a job.
I do those kinds of
dialysis, and then I had to try to do some work.
You have your hands full, don't you?
Yes, ma'am. But I mean, I'm not complaining. The lever was on my heart. So
I know. And that's why we do it. Okay, Aging True is the organization I'm recommending you start with, because they'll do a complete assessment of everything that's going on in the home and pull in all the home and community-based services you're eligible for. And their phone number is 807-1203. And I'm even going to give you a name of somebody to talk to.
Okay.
Her name is Melinda Rackley, Rackley, Melinda Rackley at Aging True. And you can just say, Toula told me to call you. I need help.
Okay, fantastic. I'll do that.
They'll also help you with some of the other concerns you have about really being officially designated as her caregiver. And if you want to talk to me offline, I'll give you my desk number. Call me this week, and we can talk about some good elder law attorneys in town, okay?
Yeah, I'd like that.
My number is 407-6211.
6211.
Justine, did you want to add anything?
No, I just want to commend you for what you're doing. Like she said, it's not easy, and it is a labor of love. And so I'm glad that Toula is here to be able to give you some information.
Me too. Thanks so much to both of you.
Well, you have a blessed day, a good day at work, and know that we're here for you. You are not alone in this caregiving journey.
Thank you so much, Toula. I'll call you during the week.
I'd love to talk to you. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, ma'am. Bye.
Bye. Justine, that's what it is. It's the day-to-day responsibilities. It's the day-to-day, this is what I have to do, and I have to work on top of it and take care of myself. This gentleman's probably trying to find an inch or two during the day to do a few things for himself, and it's not easy.
It's not only not easy, but he, again, like I said, I commend him, and it's not hard, and we want to continue to come up with ways to help them know how to care for themselves in the process of caring for someone else. And AARP and others like Toula want to be a part of that.
That's our goal.
That is our
goal. To support and help caregivers. You are listening to Toula's Tips for Caregivers. Justine and I have a lot of ground to cover when we come back. So everybody stay tuned, okay? We'll be right back after this sponsor break.
Toula's Tips for Caregivers is proudly sponsored by AgeWell Institute at Baptist Health, by the AARP, by Elmcroft Assisted Living and Memory Care, and by Claim Medic. Have you read the new book, Love Stories and Timeless Tips, yet? It's by our own Toula Wooten with Toula's Tips for Caregivers. Toula is a caregiver too, as well as an expert on caregiving. You can get it in paperback or on Kindle at Amazon.com. The book is filled with touching stories of caregivers taking care of their loved ones. Each chapter has helpful ideas that we all can use. I love that Toula included a Toula's tip with each story. Her message to caregivers is clear. Take care of yourself so that you can take care of your loved one. This is a beautiful book for all caregivers to read, whether you're a part-time, full-time, or long-distance caregiver, or someone receiving care. You should get the book today. Just go to Amazon.com. Search for Love Stories and Timeless Tips by Toula Wooten. Are you burdened with a loved one's medical bills and confused about who and how much to pay? Are there medical claims that have been denied? When you work with Claim Medic, they review your bills for accuracy every month and deal directly with your insurance company to make sure you receive every benefit that you pay for and never pay a bill that you don't owe. At Claim Medic, they offer free audits of up to 3 years of past medical bills to identify any past billing errors and recover overpayments you may have made. And their monthly bill review service will ensure that future bills are accurate before you pay. With Claim Medic as your personal medical claim specialist, you can focus on what matters most, the health and comfort of your loved one, and rest easy knowing that their medical bills are managed by experts who care. Ready to start? Call 888-988-2985 to speak with a specialist or visit ClaimMedic.com. That's 888-988-2985. With Claim Medic on your side, you'll never pay a medical bill you don't owe.
Hi, this is Toula, and I'm here to talk to you about Baptist's new Age Well Institute. Are you caring for a loved one who's 65 or older? Are you a boomer like myself who's caring for a parent? And perhaps your parent has been experiencing some decline in their overall health. Let me highly recommend to you the Baptist Age Well Institute. They have the only real geriatrician here in Northeast Florida who is able to look at the whole person. Their comprehensive approach includes a nurse, a doctor, a social worker, a pharmacist, a dietitian. They have their own physical therapy there. They can work with folks with memory disorders. My goal is to help you, the caregiver, find an organization that can care for your loved one who's 65 or older. I take my own parents there, and I highly recommend the Age Well Institute at Baptist. Please give them a call at 904-202-4243. Again, that's 904-202-4243. You'll be so glad you did.
George, I got the job. Thanks, I'm so excited. They hired me on the spot right after the interview. It was that book I bought from Amazon, From the Interview to the Paycheck by Fred Haley. The book really taught me something. It helped me to think about what the boss wants. Then it helped me with answers that show that I can do the job. I can tell they were impressed when I introduced myself. I just followed the simple outline from the Interview to the Paycheck book, and I know I won the job with my first 90 days plan the book recommended. They said no one else had ever been so prepared. You should get the book. It's on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle. It's worth it if you want to get hired. Just search for From the Interview to the Paycheck by Fred Haley. Do it now.
And now let's return to Toula's Tips for Caregivers. Once again, here's Toula.
Well, welcome back, everyone. If you have just joined me, my guest today is Justine Conley. She is new with AARP. She's been here 5 months now as the Associate State Director / Jacksonville Field Coordinator, which means she is local to us here in Jacksonville, and she's in charge of all the gazillions of events AARP has going on. You have no idea of all the fun things AARP sponsors and backs up and helps us do here in Jacksonville. We're going to talk a little bit about some of those in a few minutes. But first of all, Justine, I want to talk about this initiative that AARP started a couple of years ago and actually brought to Jacksonville last year, trying to make Jacksonville a livable community. What does that mean? Aren't we a livable community?
Livable community affects all of us. And I was just saying to Toula, the question might be, how in the world does the whole idea of livable communities affect caregiving? Well, some of the areas that's involved in livable communities involves housing. How does housing affect where you live, how you want to live, how do you want to age in place, what helps you to do that? That's one of the areas. Transportation. How do you get to and from your appointments? How do you get around town? How do you get to enjoy the city? This whole idea of outdoor space. How do you deal with bikers on the road? So those are just some of the areas that's involved in livable community. And then with the whole idea of livable community, if you were to do a walk-in tour, what makes your community a livable community? How are the streets? How are the street signs? Are you able to get up and off of onto sidewalks? Do you have sidewalks? What makes the streets safe? So all those are some of the components of livable communities. And so Jacksonville, we want Jacksonville to become designated as a livable community and join the Age-Friendly Network. And the Age-Friendly Network started, I think, with 3 in the state. Now I think we have about 10. And they just had a conference in Chicago. There's 124 communities that are saying we want to be a part of the livable community network. And how do we make it better and accessible for the 50-plus community? So that's just a little bit about livable communities. And we talk about how does it interface with the whole idea of caregiving.
So it's a national initiative that AARP has taken on, and I'm really happy that they brought it to Jacksonville. I participated in the study last year that was initiated, and there were something like 20 different meetings we had on Tuesday mornings to talk about the different aspects of what makes a livable community, like you talked about for seniors in particular. How do they get around to their doctor's appointments, and if they can't drive anymore, how do we bring quality of life to them so that they can get around? Housing, parks, walkable communities. I think that's one of the things that was really listed. Our healthcare community, really important. And there's a rating actually that AARP has.
There's a whole assessment. And one of the things I know for this coming year, as I lead the work with AARP in Jacksonville, I'm thinking and looking at how do we join this age-friendly network and how do we make the community more accessible. And I know folks are like, 50. But if we make the community accessible for 50 plus, it's accessible for everyone.
That's right.
And so AARP is not just concerned with 50 plus. That's my focus. But we're focused intergenerationally as well, because caregiving goes across generations. So there are people that are young people having to take care of a grandparent, take care of a parent themselves. And so we're interested in the whole community. And so this whole idea of livable community is working toward making it accessible, making it better. And so I want us at some point to be talking about, is your community a livable community? How is the housing? Is it accessible for everyone? And is it great housing, or is it a variety of kind of housing? And so we are looking at those kinds of questions and opportunities here in Jacksonville.
Well, we're still in this kind of studying it phase right now, and some recommendations have been made really across all of those areas that you just mentioned. And it's not something we're just going to keep talking about. An implementation plan will be put in place as we've made some recommendations, the ones that we decide are really doable. Mm-hmm. We'll be talking to our local city officials about some of the things we've just talked about. Do our stoplights allow enough time for a senior to cross the street once they've hit that button and they start walking? Is 30 seconds enough? Is that something we need to look at, not just for seniors, but for families carrying, a 3-year-old on their hand? All those kinds of things that need to be looked at. Jacksonville's not the easiest walkable community because we're so big, so spread out, but we have pockets in our city that are.
Yes. And so we want to make it available. We want to make it accessible to the whole community. And so I want us to start somewhere and continue to build out. And so looking at those communities that are walkable or do have intergenerational housing and housing that will accommodate all kinds of people. One of the things I just thought about was this whole idea of housing as a part of livable communities. Where do you want to live? How do you want to age? How do you want to age in place? What are some of the components to help you age in place? One of the things that AARP does is this whole initiative called Home Fit. And there's a Home Fit guide helping you look at what are some of the components to help make sure that your house is accessible as you age in place. So I was talking to some people recently, and they said, for those that's on the lower end of this AARP deal of 50, 60, people who are rebuilding houses or remodeling, things just you don't think about. Putting outlets up higher, not having the stove, if you have a gas heater, having to reach over the aisles to get to the knobs.
That's dangerous.
Putting the knobs in a different place.
Right.
So there are all kinds of things that they're looking at for us that's 50 and older to say, we never thought about that. Higher commodes. Yeah. Making sure that the commodes are higher for people who who had needs adjustments to make.
Know anybody like that, Justine?
I have 2 new knees, and I am happy about them.
Yep.
Happy. But there are different kinds of things, again, that AARP offers. Yep. Another one that is exciting is this whole idea of car fit.
I was just going to mention that.
I started driving more than 40 years ago. I'm not going to give my age away, but more than 40 years ago, I started driving. And so can we say that cars have changed over the years?
Just a bit.
And just knowing how to navigate, in quotes, your car and your car system. So there's a car fit. How do you make sure that you know how to make the adjustments in your car and know what each thing what each thing is in the car. And so sometimes I get them like, forget it. It's too many buttons and too many things to push.
Yeah, my father's so funny. He won't even buy a car with all those electronics. He still wants a car with the old-fashioned window that you take the little knob and you pull it round and round and round. He's like, I'm not dealing with all that. And, as you get older, all these changes, particularly all these technological changes and electronic changes, are harder for people to deal with. They're very difficult to deal with. So CarFit is a wonderful initiative that you guys do. Are y'all going to be doing any of those? You got any of those scheduled?
We are. We don't have any scheduled in the rest of this year, but we definitely have ones that we're scheduling for the coming year. And so if you're interested in finding out some of the things that AARP is doing, I met a guy just this morning. We were at the Revolt Reigns Classic on the north side, and thousands of people are gathering for the parade and for the tailgating and the game itself. And so AARP wants to be in the mix. We want to show up places that people are not expecting us. So a guy came by our table and said, AARP, I thought it was insurance. I'm thinking it is more than insurance. And insurance is not even my department. And so I said to him, you're leaving money on the table. And so AARP has a lot of discounts, a lot of benefits, and several things for the 50-plus community. So I try to encourage people to go to our website at aarp.org/Jacksonville, aarp.org/Jacksonville, and all of the events that we are doing, we have listed online and up to date.
Y'all do so much. I tell you all the time, I don't think I could keep your schedule. I don't know how you do it because you're all over the place in Jacksonville doing lots of fun events.
We call it fun with a purpose. And one of those things that, again, we do a couple things for caregivers. One is a careversation where you come in the afternoon. We provide food for you around the table with other caregivers. And you're able to share resources. You're able to just get a little respite. You're able to be with other people that you know that you're not alone. And people walk out of there just thinking, wow, this was fun. It was light. There's a facilitated conversation around caregiving. Some people walk away with a plan for how they're going to do caregiving. What are some of the other components that they need? So careversation is just one thing that we're constantly working with. But the other is, we'll talk about when we come back after the break, is movies for grown-ups.
Yep. I've attended a few of those, too. That's just another thing. Again, back to that person's statement is, why is AARP here? You're so much more than insurance. I am a proud carrier of my AARP card. It gives me a discount into all kinds of things. I've got AARP travel programs and discounts. I can go online and take all these surveys and earn points and get discounts on things I buy. There's just so many wonderful things to do. You're really connected to our community. I'm glad you're here. You're listening to Toula's Tips for Caregivers. We'll be right back after this sponsor break.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Iraqi police say 4 separate bombings have hit neighborhoods across Baghdad today, killing at least 10 people and wounding 37. They say the bombings killed across sectarian lines. Nobody's claimed responsibility so far. New satellite images show that ISIS is well entrenched in the northern Iraqi city of Mosul, even as the Iraqi army continues a major offensive, hoping to rout the group out of the city. ISIS has been controlling Mosul now for about 2 years. A New York City police officer who was injured during a gunfight with a suspect has been released from the hospital. Police say Sergeant Emmanuel Quo left the hospital last night after treatment for a leg wound. Unfortunately, his partner, Sergeant Paul Tozzulo, died after being shot in that same exchange. Police say 8 people have been injured in a shooting outside an Oakland, California nightclub. The injuries are not considered to be life-threatening. No motive has been determined. This is SRN News.
Don't stress over a leaky or damaged roof. Just call Perkins Express Roofing. Perkins Express Roofing is available 24/7. If you've had damage from a storm or accident, there's a good chance insurance will cover it, and Perkins Express Roofing will do all of the paperwork for you. If you're remodeling, renovating, or building a new home or building, let Perkins Express Roofing's parent company, MCM Builders, do a free estimate and show you how much they can save you. From a leak to a whole roof, Perkins Express Roofing is locally owned and operated and totally licensed and insured. Your roof is one of the most important parts of your home. Trust the professionals at Perkins Express Roofing. Call 904-525-2277 or 626-2860. Currently hiring sales reps. Equal opportunity employer. Perkins Express Roofing says we keep you covered. 525-2277 or 626-2860. State license number CCC 1330452.
You want your morning show live? Don't you want your morning radio show even local? You're going to get both starting Monday, November the 7th, mornings from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on WBOB. Hi, everybody. It is Ed Dean, and we're going to be live. We're going to be local, morning starting November the 7th from 7 to 9 a.m. We're going to talk about social, economic, and a lot of political issues right here, morning starting Monday, November the 7th from 7 to 9 a.m. on AM 600 and 100.3 FM, The Answer.
Every child deserves a loving home. That's the goal of Kids First of Florida, to find adoptive parents for children who need someone just like you to love and care for them. Every child should have a chance to make it in this world, but without the love and support that only comes from good, caring parents, their lives could be filled with loneliness and despair. Welcome a child or teen into your life through adoption. The process is easy, and the reward is beyond comparison. Kids First of Florida. Call 278-5644. Online at kidsfirstofflorida.org.
Easily the most important presidential election in our generation. It's all over Tuesday, November 8th. You'll need to know who wins. AM 600 WBOB will have the answer. Listen for the election results that matter most to you. Tuesday evening, starting at 7 p.m., Ed Dean anchors a fast-paced, informative evening of results and what they mean to you. Election night on AM 600 WBOB, the answer.
Stuck in traffic? WBOB has the answer.
Couple of crashes. What it's I-10 East sitting at mile marker 348. Watch out for that one. Left shoulder is blocked. Another crash 295 north at the ramp to Bay Meadows. And the left shoulder is blocked there also. As for the weather, mostly sunny. Nice Saturday. High today 73. 20% chance of showers tonight and tomorrow night. Low near 60. Mostly cloudy then. It is currently 72. A little bit of clouds. At AM 600 WBOB, the answer.
And now let's return to Toula's tips for caregivers. Once again, here's Toula.
Welcome back, everyone. My guest today is Justine Conley. She is the new Jacksonville Field Coordinator and Associate State Director with AARP. She's been here 5 months, and already we have pulled together a wonderful kinship. That's what I'm going to call it, even more than friendship, because sometimes we feel like sisters. We have a lot of things in common, but we also have just a burning passion for caregivers and trying to help the caregivers in Northeast Florida. As I said earlier, they are a sponsor, the presenting sponsor, actually, of the Caregiver Coalition of Northeast Florida. Most of you know I lead that, and we are in the planning stages now for all of our events in 2017. We're going to have some conferences, again, another big Caregiver Expo in May. And this year, we're going to do some caregiver conferences online, so be looking out for those. I think we'll be able to reach more people digitally that way this year. So we're excited about that. So working alongside Justine has been a lot of fun. Justine, we'll talk a little bit more about caregiving in a minute and some of the things we do, but I really want to keep the focus on some of the fun things that AARP does, because, again, there's so many misconceptions about who AARP is, and y'all have got events coming out the wazoo for people to go and enjoy themselves.
We call it Fun with a Purpose, and my desire and hope is that AARP is going to show up some places that you're not expecting us to show up. And when you come up to a booth or a group and you're like, who are you? We can say AARP, like, really? You're here too? Like, for instance, this weekend we're at the Ribault Reigns Northwest Classic, giving out beads and armbands and saying AARP, real possibilities. We're at the Air and Sea Show out at the beaches. And again, we want to be everywhere you are and then some places. And so we are about the 50-plus population, helping them live their best life and helping them live life on their own terms. I did a seminar recently, and I asked the group of people in the audience, I said, if about 120 people, if you didn't know how old you were, how old would you be? And so there were people of 50, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80s in the room. And they said stuff like 25, 35, 40, 22, really. And so there was a woman, I think it was in her 70s, that said, I would be 25. I'm like, wow. So my question is, why do we allow people to determine and dictate for us what we should be and how we should be at our age? And so I'm about helping people disrupt aging. And that's one of AARP's biggest things, is standing against the age-old myths and sayings and things about people 50 plus. And so we like to do fun with the purpose, and we like to go and be places to invite our members and non-members to get to know us. And a woman came up to me recently at the Movies for Grown-Ups, and she did the whole commercial that I get the privilege of being in. And so now as I go around Jacksonville, like, there's a woman on this commercial. Yeah, that's me. Oh, it's you? Yeah, it's me. Well, you look different. You look younger. Keep telling me that. I like that. So again, AARP is more than just about insurance. And so, and insurance is not even my department.
I don't even think about insurance when I think about AARP. I mean, I know that's there, but it's a whole nother, like you said, big, huge department of AARP. I don't even think about it. I think of AARP being, again, involved in our community, trying to make life better for all of us. If we wanted to learn about Movies for Grown-Ups and when the next one is, tell me about that, because they're free, aren't they?
They are free, usually pre-screenings of movies with actors and actresses and actors in them that are older, with thought-provoking themes and fun. We saw Sully, which was excellent. We saw Florence Jenkins, Hand of Stone. We just recently, last Saturday, in fact, saw Inferno. And so many of these are pre-screenings, so we see them before they come to the theater, and they are free. All you need to do is go on the AARP.org/Jacksonville website and click on events. And if you scroll down the many events that we have going on, you check on the Movie for the Grown-Ups, click on that link, and it says register. And you go and you register. They'll send you a confirmation by email. There's even a number you can call if you don't want to do it online. And what was funny, for the Sully, one of my volunteers said, I was at work and I got the email about Sully and I couldn't go on at the time. And 2 hours later, it was already sold out.
Yeah.
And so we also create a wait list, and just come oftentimes, and the theater's not full, and we'll get you in if we can. It's first come, first serve.
I've done that. I've been to a couple of them at the Avenues over there on Phillips Highway. It's wonderful. You can see the movie before it officially hits the theaters, and it's free.
And the other thing, too, is for many caregivers, sometimes it's just about getting a break and doing something for yourself so that you can continue to give to your person that you're caring for. And so when you can just take a 2-hour break sometimes that's all you need. And we were talking at one of the caregiver coalitions with Toula. We love being a part of that with Toula across the city and serving a variety of folks. And a person said, people always say to me, well, how can I help you? And we try to encourage people to be as specific as you can. It might be, can you come sit with my person I'm caregiving for 2 hours? Yes, they might not like it. They might get upset, but I need a break.
Right.
Can you come and sit for 2 hours? And you come to the movies, or you come to go online and do something, one of the fun games that for brain health, or to take a little course that's going to help you know how to last longer and be able to care for your person longer. So we try to provide as many resources and avenues for the caregiver to also get care for themselves.
It's so important. It's one of the things that anybody who's listened to me for any length of time at all knows that I really do stress, is that you have got to carve out time for yourself, or you will not make it through this caregiving journey. And if you do make it, you won't be well and healthy at the other end. We know that there's a high percentage of caregivers that die before the person that they're taking care of, due to the stresses involved and to the self-neglect of their own medical care. It's just so rampant. The more I work with caregivers, and I understand, when you're so busy taking your loved one back and forth to the doctor and taking care of them and tending to their activities of daily living, and these days 60% of caregivers are performing what used to be called medical nursing tasks that only clinicians did. You're doing that now on top of everything else.
Yes.
You're just too worn out and don't have the time, particularly if you're a working caregiver. Add a 50-hour-a-week job to your schedule, and then you're going home and taking care of a parent, for instance. And during the week, you take them back and forth to the doctor and to all their appointments. It's really hard to carve out time for your medical care, but it's an absolute necessity. You have got to put yourself at the top of your to-do list, is what I like to tell people. You have to keep yourself at the top of your to-do list, or you may not make it through this journey.
At one of the caregiver evenings that I went to, it was very, very, it was well attended, and it was fun, and it was light, and there was good food. And right toward the end, there was a woman in the room. Someone said, I need help with knowing how to do whatever the task was. And a woman from the other table says, here is who you call. Mm-hmm. She had the contact information and she had the number. And so if you can just be with other people sometimes who are in a similar position, but doing it in a different way. So just knowing that you're not alone. There's someone else that can help you, and that help you think of ways to care for your caregiver in ways that you couldn't think of on your own, because you get so inundated in working that you can't even think straight. And so we want you to leave some of the different things that we're trying to offer with just a little bit of energy and a little bit of help, and that realizing that I am not in this by myself, and that there are other people who care about me and helping me get what I need.
That's our biggest message, is that you're not here by yourself. AARP is here and has lots of caregiving events. The Caregiver Coalition is comprised of AARP and Aging True and Age Well and Elder Source and Community Hospice and Brooks Health and Rehab, and several other organizations. We've all pulled together to be there for you, to be the umbrella organization for you, the caregiver, and we do so many things for you. Again, you are not alone in this journey. If you want to reach out to the Caregiver Coalition in Northeast Florida, you can do that by calling 407-6500, and one of us will get back with you and answer any of the questions that you might have. Do you have any phone numbers locally here that folks can handle?
Yes, I sure do. One of the best ways to get me is J. Conley, Conley, at AARP.org. J. Conley at AARP.org. The telephone number is 904-501-8745.
And we'll
904-501-8745.
We've got one more segment. We'll give it out before the show ends again, okay? Justine, thank you. You're listening to Toula's Tips for Caregivers. We'll be right back.
Toula's Tips for Caregivers is proudly sponsored by Age Well Institute at Baptist Health, by the AARP, by Elmcroft Assisted Living and Memory Care, and by Claim Medic. Have you read the new book, Love Stories and Timeless Tips yet? It's by our own Toula Wooten, with Toula's Tips for Caregivers. Toula is a caregiver, too, as well as an expert on caregiving. You can get it in paperback or on Kindle at Amazon.com. The book is filled with touching stories of caregivers taking care of their loved ones. Each chapter has helpful ideas that we all can use. I love that Toula included a Toula's tip with each story. Her message to caregivers is clear. Take care of yourself so that you can take care of your loved one. This is a beautiful book for all caregivers to read, whether you're a part-time, full-time, or long-distance caregiver, or someone receiving care. You should get the book today. Just go to Amazon.com. Search for Love Stories and Timeless Tips by Toula Wooten. Are you burdened with a loved one's medical bills and confused about who and how much to pay? Are there medical claims that have been denied? When you work with Claim Medic, they review your bills for accuracy every month and deal directly with your insurance company to make sure you receive every benefit that you pay for and never pay a bill that you don't owe. At Claim Medic, they offer free audits of up to 3 years of past medical bills to identify any past billing errors and recover overpayments you may have made. And their monthly bill review service will ensure that future bills are accurate before you pay. With Claim Medic as your personal medical claims specialist, you can focus on what matters most, the health and comfort of your loved one, and rest easy knowing that their medical bills are managed by experts who care. Ready to start? Call 888-988-2985 to speak with a specialist or visit ClaimMedic.com. That's 888-988-2985. With Claim Medic on your side, you'll never pay a medical bill you don't owe.
Hi, everyone. This is Toula again, and I'm here to tell you about the Agewell Institute at Baptist Health. They're located in the San Marco area. I've been taking my own parents there for about 2 years now. Dr. Lance, the geriatrician on staff, has done remarkable things for both my parents and for me, the caregiver. They have great information, advice, and resources to help me. Dr. Lance and her team of social workers, dietitians, nurses, therapists, and the pharmacist have been so instrumental in helping me keep my own parents independent and living in their own home where they want to be. If you're looking for someone to either supplement the care that your primary physician is giving to your loved one who's 65 or older, or to perhaps become their primary care physician, I really encourage you to call the Agewell Institute at Baptist. Their number is 904-202-4243. Again, that's 904-202-4243.
George, I got the job. Thanks, I'm so excited. They hired me on the spot right after the interview. It was that book I bought from Amazon, From the Interview to the Paycheck by Fred Haley. The book really taught me something. It helped me to think about what the boss wants. Then it helped me with answers that show that I can do the job. I can tell they were impressed when I introduced myself. I just followed the simple outline from the Interview to the Paycheck book, and I know I won the job with my first 90 days plan the book recommended. They said no one else had ever been so prepared. You should get the book. It's on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle. It's worth it if you want to get hired. Just search for From the Interview to the Paycheck by Fred Haley. Do it now.
And now let's return to Toula's Tips for Caregivers. Once again, here's Toula.
Welcome back, everyone. This show is flying by. We are talking to Justine Conley today, who is the Jacksonville Field Coordinator and Associate State Director with AARP. She's only been here in Jacksonville 5 months, but boy, did she ever hit the ground running. And she's involved in so many wonderful events. And AARP nationally and locally has so much to offer you. There is absolutely no reason anybody over 50 should not join AARP. There's every reason you should. So, Justine, before we talk about that a little bit more, we have another caller on the line. Michael, welcome to Toula's Tips for Caregivers.
Thank you, Justine. I'm really enjoying the show. I've gone to some of the movies and some of the other things that you, Justine, have put on. It's been so much fun. Thank you.
Well,
You're welcome.
You.
I had one thought, though, and you were mentioning about all the things that you are doing to help seniors and help people over 50. And I think, I know all of us have ideas. So if we had some thought, something that we wanted to get help with from you, that AARP might help with, or if we could help others if we had something that we could do to help others, like some of Toula's sponsors. How do we get in touch with you, or how do we suggest that to AARP?
Well, we just gave the email. I can be reached by email at J as in John, Conley, Conley at AARP.org. That comes directly to my email, and I would love to respond by email. And if you wanted to do a call, either offline, we could do that at 904-501-8745. 904-501-8745. And tell me your name again, please.
Michael.
All right, Michael. I look forward to talking with you. And thank you for participating with Movies for Grown-Ups and other events around town.
Oh, I agree. And to be honest, just helping people always makes me feel better, and I think probably a lot of the other AARP members, if they can help somebody. If we can offer something that helps others, then it helps everybody.
And we are always recruiting and talking to people who want to volunteer, because that's exactly who we're looking for, are people who are active in their community and want to help other people. And so we can talk about that as well.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Justine. Thank you, Toula.
Thank you for your call. It's been a great show today. We're not done yet. We still got to talk about some of the other things. What is an AARP Tech class?
Excellent. Great question. I'm glad you asked that question. Tech, T-E-K, stands for Technology, Education, Knowledge. And what the tech classes are, they are classes that's usually an hour or 90 minutes long. And we have a series of classes coming up next week at the Legends Community Center. You can find out the address and the times for those. And what we try to do is we try to help seniors bridge the digital divide. And we try to offer courses, intro to iPad, and then we switch back and forth. We might do intro to Android, so we both do both of those. But right now, I think it's intro to iPad, and we have usually a series of 3 classes. You can sign up for one and stay for all 3 if they're not members. But usually those classes fill up. We have them at libraries. We have them all across the city. We want to make sure that we reach as many of our members with the opportunity and give access to as many classes as possible. But that's what TECH stands for. And they are really fun. They are really accessible. And I just tell a quick story. It's fun for me to watch folks come in with who've never turned on the device, and they're saying, I don't know how to work my telephone. And so they leave with some basic knowledge of how to work their technology. So that's what the tech classes are about.
Such a need.
Such a need.
I know so many seniors who have just been given an iPad, for instance, as a gift and given it back. This thing is too hard for me. It's too challenging. I can't do it. Get me something, and it's not. Once you get used to it, it's just a little bit of a learning curve. But so many people give up, and so it's wonderful that y'all are doing that.
And our techs that put these courses on are very, very not only gentle, but very patient and helpful. And people leave. I watched some women send a text for the first time using their device. They were just laughing hysterically because they were so excited. Or to be able to take a picture and send to someone. So those kinds of things that many of us take for granted, there are people who don't know how to do those things, and we want to bridge that gap, and that they do not have to not to know anymore. And I know that's not grammatically correct.
It opens a whole new world for them, of communication with their loved ones. I mean, the idea of learning how to send a picture of yourself or you with your grandchild to another relative who has it decreases isolation and just helps seniors so much. And it's so wonderful that y'all were doing that.
Can I just add one more thing with that? You reminded me of it. So much of even medical care is they're utilizing technology. And so AARP has this initiative called Caregiving Accelerator, and it is coming to Jacksonville. And what the accelerator is it helps entrepreneurs who are interested in bringing to market down the road devices that's going to help facilitate medical care for caregivers. And so what this accelerator is going to do, you'll be hearing more about it, is they do a 6 to 8 week course, and they help you look at your business plan, help you bring your idea to this marketplace, and then the people here in Jacksonville, I think, help to decide which ones are best possible to bring to market. And so, so technology is going to be a part of medical care. And so how do we facilitate and make easier caregiving? And so when we can help you learn how to work technology and learn how to have it be more accessible to you, it's only going to help you. And so that's where we're going for the future with AARP, is doing more classes and helping people be more technologically sound.
You know, I think it's awesome that that's coming to Jacksonville. I know it's in Tampa, and we got to meet the person over that just a couple of weeks ago, and I don't remember the name of the
person. Her name is Monica Toula.
Right. And then there was someone who came up with a product that used the Amazon Echo to help stay in connection with family caregivers and with each other, which I thought was just awesome. So that's coming to Jacksonville. If any of you who are listening or entrepreneurs or who have some thoughts on ways that you might be able to use technology in our digital world to help caregivers connect with other people, help them with their medical care, an app that might help them with their medications, anything. This is something you need to plug into.
And if you want to find out more about the Caregiver Accelerator, you can call or email my office at jconley at AARP.org, or you can go to the website, or you can type in Caregiver Accelerator on the AARP website, and you'll find out more about it. But it is a neat idea and way to take entrepreneurs seriously. And again, it's going to help caregiving.
There's so much that AARP is doing to assist caregivers, to support them, both on the local basis and nationally. We haven't even talked about the AARP Policy Institute for Caregiving and all that you do. Whenever I need to learn about what's going on in the world of caregiving, I go to AARP. So I thank AARP for all the studies and everything you do. And Justine, this has been a great show today. We could have covered a whole lot more, but I think we hit the highlights.
Our time is already up.
Our time is up. Thank you so much for being here today. You bring so much passion and enthusiasm for what you do, and we just all appreciate you.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you around town.
You will. Everyone, I wish you all a blessed day. Thank you for listening.